Hi guys, welcome back to part 2 of What If Deck. Oh, sorry guys. Welcome to part 2 of What If Deku had benimaru and souei's power. Yes, I did promise you guys once I reach 15 views I would do part 2. This is where I left off, where Izumi and Katsume would try to apologize to Deku, but it wouldn't work. Not even green magnet. So I'm gonna finish off right there. So when Deku goes back to school, and yes, he's in the forest training. I think I let Aizawa adopted him. Yeah, let me know where I left off again. If I did let Aizawa adopt Midoriya. So Deku would. Oh, I forgot. Deku would proceed. No, Aizawa would proceed to do, a new teacher would come in and Green Magnet and, All Might would bust through the door and they would smile and do what they normally did in canon, but except everyone would get their their costume and such. But for Izuku's costume, I'm gonna make it similar to Souei, but it's going to have that reddish vibe of Benimaru. And if you're wondering if he has the horn, no, he doesn't have the horn. And I think I forgot to mention to you guys that Deku can evolve some of his skills. Like, hold on, guys. Sometimes I forget what the power be, so I'm sorry, guys. Alright, Deku can. For some of the powers that Deku can evolve, I'm gonna list some of them. He can evolve. Don't worry, it's not gonna be too OP. I swear. I think he can use multi-layer barrier, and he can evolve not body level sticky steel thread. Those are the skills that he can only evolve for Souei skill. As for Benimaru, I'm not getting into that. Hold on, guys. Let me do something quick. It's not me. It's my neighbors. I'm sorry, but yes. So the test would begin where they have to do the battle with. The same would be in the canon, but except for Izumi would be on the team, and Uchaku would still be on Midoriya's team. Those two would be up first, and I completely forgot. If you're wondering about the harem, yes, Uchaku, Momo Yayarozu, and I think one person from the Wild Pussycat gang, the Wild Pussycats, and I may add one. I think I will add Mina Ashido, but guys, let me know who else you want to enter in the ship. Those are the only 4 I'm gonna put in there. And if you're wondering if Deku can evolve their quirk, I think I'm going to give him that. Yes, but he can't evolve too far. They would have to be strong enough to let Izuku evolve it. Which no one would know, but except for Izuku and Great Sage. Sorry, let me begin into the fight. Deku would look similar to Souei, but have the reddish color of Benimaru, reddish and white color of Benimaru, and he also would have the katana. Sorry about that, guys. And when the first team was called up, that it was Izuku and Uchaku Umaraka and versus Bakugo and Katsumi. Basically, Katsumi is still sad about the whole bully thing, but Bakugo didn't really care because he's Bakugo. He's even worse in this one. So yeah, Deku in his mindscape would plan a plan in an instant, and Deku would actually finish, actually be ready. Uchaku would ask him what's the plan, and Deku would just say to enter, just step on my shadow. Basically, if you're wondering what skill he used shadow movement. Yes, he got shadow movement from Souei. So Deku would let her shadow move up to the, the building, up to the up to the top floor, and Izuku would basically know where the bomb is, cause Great Sage told him everything. Not really everything, but you get the point. Deku would, how can I say it? For Bakugo, basically Deku didn't even have to use his full strength. He just one punched that man through the wall, and he's out cold. As for Katsumi wouldn't run down. She would try to think of a plan, but it was too late by then. Uchaku touched the bomb. So I don't really mind that arc, that little fight. And if you're wondering, about the whole, that, let's just say that Green Magnet tried to touch Izuku, but she couldn't, cause multi-layer barrier prevent that. Not even All Might could touch him. Yeah. So I'm just gonna skip this, cause I didn't want to do this part, cause it was kind of boring to me to see that I accidentally made Izuku overpowered. And yeah. So we're just gonna move on from this arc, from this part to the USJ and such. If you wonder who's the class president, it would be Tenya Ida and Momo Yayarozu. The reason being, I really don't want Deku to be literally a leader, because he's basically a leader already. Everyone will get on the bus, as in canon. Everyone will ask about their quirk, and some would ask about Deku's quirk, which Katsumi, Bakugo, and Izumi would want to hear it, even, Aizawa, but Deku would say that none of the, sorry, but you must never know. But Floppy would try to say that we are a class where you can trust us. And Izuku would say, yes, but I can't trust 3 person. Which he would look at Izumi, Katsumi, and Bakugo. Which those 3 would still be in sadness, because, not really 3, but the 2 of them would still be in sadness of bullying Deku for, I'm going to get rid of them. Which they were bullying him for about, I can't remember, till the last day of middle school, since he was announced quirkless, yeah. And yes, for the fight, yes. And when they got to the USJ, Great Sales tells him a notification that happened in his head, saying that there's multiple present within the USJ, which Izuku would kindly ask Aizawa to call for backup, which Aizawa would be confused, and Izuku would say just call back for backup, tell all of the UA teachers to come, which Aizawa would oblige, and Aizawa was still being confused at what the kid is saying, so he just called them and tells them to come for backup, which they were about 15-minute drive. Since they already reached there, they were about 15-minute drives, cause yes, it's mine. Yes, this is my story. And also, I forgot to mention, if you wonder what Sticky Steel's ready to evolve to, is evolve into Universal Thread, which can cut through basically literally matter. And you'll see how this fight gonna play out. When Izuku got in there, he used Sticky Universal Thread and closed the door shut. Yes, he closed the door shut because I didn't want anyone to get hurt in this one, not even Aizawa. Because I don't know, he's a good teacher. Which when Deku sees when the villains start pouring out and such, Deku would smile. He would smile like Benimaru, but he would still have that blank expression on his face like Souei. But everyone knew that he's going to have fun. Nobody knew what was going on in there till Jira plugs her earphone in and sends multiple people in the building, which Deku took care of with ease. Yes, as for the errors that was there, Deku literally took that out like 5 seconds flat because he has speed. And what Shigaraki would scratch his neck and warp out of here and come back with the normal, which this would not even be a piece of cake. You guys know what's going to happen already. So if best not to skip, or if everyone wondering what Deku did, Deku used Universal Thread and cut that thing to shreds. Not even literal ear would be there. And if you're wondering if Shigaraki did get captured or not, no, he's not gonna. Yes, he's gonna be captured because I don't want, Ida's brother to die. And yeah, you're gonna find out what Ida's brother going to do. So yeah, when the Pro Heroes came, including All Might and Green Magnet, they would see that all the villains are taken care of. Izuku would be in there walking up, and a villain would try to sneak attack him, but Izuku just punched him in the face, which not really hurt him or really did kill him, just literally send him flying backwards. Everyone seeing what Izuku did and walking out, he would be literally on a god tier. And Green Magnet and All Might would try to say something to him, but the only thing come out of his mouth saying, "I don't need your petty judgment or concern. You never were there since I was 4, and you never will be." Which Green Magnet would begin to start crying a little bit, but she would hold back her tear because she's in front of her, student. And this would lead up to no one getting hurt, and the USJ would continue progress earlier than expected. Like 2 days from now, the USJ would commence in their timeline. Nezu would call Deku to his office, trying to convince him to, don't compete in the race, or in entire the park, don't enter the USJ. No, not USJ. The sports festival, cause I accidentally made him broken, cause I am not taking responsibility for that. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. If you guys want to see another part, if you guys want to see part 3, let me know, cause if this video gets 15 views or more, I will drop part 3, and I think I'm just going to end it at part 3. So let me continue the video, and you see. Deku would ask Nezu why, and Nezu would give him the 10 reasons why. You're too overpowered. You single-handedly took out a whole villain. You killed a Nomu, which they didn't even know. Since Izuku just told him that it was a Nomu and he was practically dead, and the list would continue until Izuku just said, "Okay, I heard enough." Deku would basically say, "Can I at least join the festival for at least 2 minutes?" Deku would say yes, and yeah. Basically, Izuku didn't get in there. Yeah, he will be a guest speaker with President Mike. I really hate these things. Sorry, guys. Deku would be up in the stadium, commenting on every one of the students, them quirk and such, and how they use. If you're wondering what Izuku did with Uchaku and Momo and Mina Ashido, I'm gonna tell you. Deku evolve, not really. Yeah, it's gonna evolve Uchaku's skill where she no longer have any weakness to her gravity quirk. And here's a bit of a bonus for it. Uchaku Maraka can literally fly with it faster now. Yeah, that's a good thing. And for Mina Ashido, her acid would be she can change her acid from acid to water at any time and use it better. Which, yeah, she'll be broken. As for Momo Yayarozu, Deku would just simply evolve her quirk and give her the ability to create anything she wants, but there will only be one downside to it. If you wonder what the downside, yeah, she'll basically use energy. Like, no, not really energy. She would need a type of DNA from herself to create a weapon. The longer the DNA is, the stronger the weapon is. So Deku would only tell her the downside. That would be the only downside, which Momo would actually know what she means by that, which Deku would tell her that you need hair or blood. Or certain sorry guys, I keep stuttering. Guys, I lost my script, that's why I am literally stuttering right now. I literally lost my script. If you're wondering where I lost my script, I have no idea. So Deku would proceed to comment on everyone, and well, basically it would be go different as in Ken. Instead of Bakugo and Todoroki coming first or second, Uchaku would come first, Mina Ashida would come fifth, and Yayarosa would come in. Since she can basically create anything from literally her body, as long as she have her DNA in her hand or something. Yeah, I'm just gonna give her the ability. As long as she have her DNA in her hand, she can create anything she wants. But it's only limited to DNA. So she would create air cannons and literally start shooting herself. Yeah, air cannons. And creating a hoverboard. And if you're wondering how did she create a hoverboard, easy. Her quirk advanced now, so she can create some things from the future, but some cannot. Like if you're wondering a portal gun, she can't create that because she doesn't have the dark matter for that. She only can create certain things that are from the future, which I'm gonna tell you later. And for the whole the US Force Festival, and this is where the cavalry battle will come in, and I'm just gonna say, guys, I think I may add midnight to it. Should I add midnight? Let me know in the comments. Guys, if kids are watching this, please don't, cause I think I've made this worse. Sorry guys. Let me know in the comments if I should add midnight to it, cause I have already created a harem for this dude. I created a harem. I think I should just end it. So for the whole entire sports festival would go similar in canon, but some fight wouldn't. Mina Ashida versus, I can't remember who, the naval laser guy. She would still win. As for her next fight, she would win that, but her third fight she would lost. And for Ochaku versus Bakugo, yeah, that would go very differently. Bakugo would basically be destroyed. Yeah, cause he has been training. Uchaku trained harder, cause it was Izuku training. So she has reflexes beyond anything. And if you're wondering why didn't Deku use Benimaru's power, yeah, you're gonna find out why. So Deku would simply, Deku would comment on everyone, and Baku would almost lose if he hasn't used an explosion and throw her out. Which Uchaku was a little bit tired because she exerted most of her energy when she was, doing the whole race. Oh, sorry guys, I think I meant the cavalry battle. Sorry guys. So I'm not even gonna go into that. Basically, Uchaku keep her head down and such, yeah. Except Shinto would be out. Yeah, and for the fight, Mina Ashida would fight the naval laser, and the same thing as I said. But yeah, Momo Yayarozu would lost to Todoroki. Yeah, I'm not even gonna get into that guy. You're gonna find out what Deku did to get him to use his fire side. So when Uchaku lost her match, and it seemed that Mina Ashida Mina Ashida is gonna go up against Todoroki. Nezu would ask if he could change it to him. Deku would walk out. Everyone would expect in Mina Ashida, but when Izuku walks out, everyone begins to fear, cause this dude is a literal god. Yeah, not really a god, but you get the drift. Cause if Deku could literally, you know, literally defeat a normal, they could not touch him. But Todoroki was intimidated, and yeah, Deku wouldn't be intimidated, but he would begin to contest to figure out a way how he can beat Deku. But there is no way. There is no way on earth you can beat this guy. But if Deku activate autopilot, that's worse. Cause since I gave him great stage, why not simply give him that autopilot as well? And if you're wondering how Deku got to, let how Deku made Todoroki use his fire, he would remind him about what his mother said, and the same thing as in canon, but Deku would basically be stronger. And if you're wondering how Deku, later survival attack, remember he has multi-barrier, so that wouldn't even touch him. So Deku would come on up to, basically everyone would see what Midoriya have done and cheer them on, which Todoroki would smile at Deku and say thank you, cause he was knocked out unconscious yet. But Deku would say, I'll train you, but it's gonna be hellish. And if you're talking what kind of hellish training he did to evolve his Sealsm, I'm gonna tell you. If you watch Demon Slayer, where Tanjiro literally did that whole mountain arc without powers, that's the training he did, without using any of his core. Not even great stage. And Deku would, go back to the commentating room and finish the rest of the UA Sports Festival. And when Bakugo was going to go collect his medal, he announced that he wanted to fight Deku, which Deku just said, "You're not worth my time." Bakugo got irritated by this and exploded, tried to go up to Deku, which Deku didn't really do. Which Deku just simply, go there and chop that Bakugo down in the ground, knock him out unconscious. Which Deku would just special travel back to the commentation room, which everyone would see that Deku literally just chopped out the strongest student. Which everyone assumed that Bakugo was the strongest student, but in reality check, Izuku would destroy everyone. And if you're wondering about Ingenium and the whole Stain, let's just say Izuku took care of Stain. If you wonder what Izuku did, basically Izuku had a skill called Foresight, seeing Ingenium getting hurt, which he didn't want. So Deku created the body double of himself and send it to defeat, send it to defeat not Alpha One but Stain, which Stain would basically be knocked out, tied up, and said Ingenium was here. Yes, like the comic, like he said Ingenium was here and disappeared. And and I think I'm not going to cover the whole Stain arc, but the Hostel City incident would still happen, which Deku would immediately destroy. If you wonder which agency he go to Gran Torino, because he knows Gran Torino, because he met him in the past when he was walking. You would go to Gran Torino, train with him, and the arc and the social city incident would still happen, which either would survive. And if you're wondering why didn't I just let Stain, defeat Ingenium? One, Ingenium is a good hero. Second, I didn't want him to get hurt. Third, I don't really care about Ida's feelings. I cared more about Ingenium. No homo. Which the auto city incident will be pretty dealt with quickly, and that's where I'm going. That where I'm going to leave it off. No, sorry guys. As for the teacher versus student battle, which the teacher, which the final exam or such, they could ace the test, and the person who this one would be a three versus one each teacher. Basically Deku ended up with the worst team. He ended up with Izumi and Katsumi versus All Might and Green Magnet. Yeah, I'm just gonna make those two fight, which Deku would pretty much get annoyed, and Deku would just begin to think of a plan for himself, cause he didn't want to get Izumi or Katsumi involved, cause he still hates them a lot. They would try to apologize and such, try to touch Deku, but Deku would slap her and then push her away and tell her that, remember all those things that you did to me back then? I almost gave up, but someone believed in me. None of you did. And he would begin to give a speech, which All Might and Green Magnet heard, and they began to cry. Yes, the whole student see that All Might cried and Green Magnet, and they would ask what happened over the intercoms, and Deku would say that there were my parents who would just simply abandon, who simply forgot that I even existed until I have a quirk. And if you're wondering how this would change it, I'll let you guys know. And if you're wondering why I rushed this one, cause basically I'm gonna redo it. Sorry guys, and that's all I have today. Bye.